Hello, YouTube. Today we're going to be going over a meme build that was requested by the one and only Bflattened on our channel redeems for Choose My Next Build. He wanted to do a Techspert green tree build. So basically the two main things that you have to do here are spec into green tree and use the Techspert class mod. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the build. So of course, starting off, we've got the Techspert. I wanted to roll it as a 2-1-2 with weapon crit damage, splash damage, and weapon damage. And what this does is anytime you get a kill, you have a 35% chance to recharge your Sentinel cooldown and the duration. So you can basically make your Sentinel last longer. With that in mind, I wanted to take advantage of an Icebreaker and the action skill Start Anoint, which is action skill Start, activate any effects that trigger on shield break or fill with the Frozen Heart. So we're constantly freezing things, getting the extra damage against frozen enemies to boost our damage, because overall the Techspert and the green tree really don't add anything to your damage. So the two biggest things there, or the three biggest things, sorry, are the Techspert and taking advantage of Frozen Heart for freezing, and Icebreaker to do extra damage against freezing enemies. Of course, we added an Icebreaker that has cryo damage, magazine size, and area effect damage. I wanted to take advantage of the cryo recurring hex with our Sentinel, since it can deploy grenades. It gives us a little bit extra freezing there for the enemies that are just outside of Frozen Heart range. You can have Sentinel go ahead and go attack those enemies. And of course we did add action skill and radiation, so that we're constantly also adding radiation to our damage formula. I went through a lot of different testing with different weapons. I really just found for the mobbing that the cryo redistributor just kind of gave the best overall damage. We did add the Sentinel cryo on there, so we got even more cryo damage while our Sentinel is up. And our Sentinel is up 90-95% of the time because of the Techspert. The crit is on here mainly for either fight for your life or those enemies that are immune to cryo damage. The crit just has really high damage and a decent magazine size, so it can take care of most enemies by itself. Free Radical we have on there for basically the same reason as the crit. High damage against things that are cryo immune. And the Plague Bearer is on there for the armor immunes, but also for things like Hemovorus. So for Hemovorus, we're going to switch out the Frozen Heart and go over to the Infernal Wish so that we can take even more advantage of having extra projectiles going off so that we do more damage to things like Hemo, who just has a really large health bar. Other than that, we have some extra cryo damages on here and corrosive damages. Most of these are pretty decent, but overall just didn't really give consistent damage as well. The exceptions, of course, if you want to throw a Transformer on with a Root, the Root's still got the busted AoE issue, so you can one-shot a lot of things just because the Root is broken. So getting into skills, starting off with Green Tree, we've got 5 in Adrenaline for extra skill cooldown. We have 5 and Ready for Action for extra recharge rate and delay on our shield. We have 4, I think it's 4. Rise to Action. We have 3 and Rise to Action, or Rise to the Occasion for a little bit extra health regeneration. 5 in Brain Freeze, so that anytime we get a critical hit, there's a chance that we slow enemies, they become frozen inevitably, so we can take more advantage of the freezing damage. We put 1 out of 1 into really expensive jacket, so that anytime we have a status effect on us, it lasts shorter amounts. So with our 1 from Techspert, that brings us up to a 67% reduced effect damage against us. Put 1 in Best Served Cold, so that we have Cryonova that goes off whenever we kill an enemy. And of course 1 into Calm, Cool, and Collected, which is going to be the biggest thing that we wanted in Green Tree, so that we have more cooldown, duration, health regeneration, and that's all just because we are freezing an enemy. So anytime we freeze an enemy, we get our shields back, we get health back, we get action skill cooldown, and our duration goes longer. Purple Tree we really wanted to take advantage of for our action skill start anoint. So we did go down pretty far into this to make sure we had a few different augments. We take 5 out of 5 in Mana Focus for the handling and accuracy, 5 out of 5 in Headman's Hand for the extra crit damage, and 5 in Commitment for the gun damage and cooldown, and 5 in the Art of War so that we have increased damage from our weapons. So we do pick up Colder Shoulder so that we have an increased freeze rate. It does decrease our damage a little bit, but we're not really using the cannon specifically for damage, so that wasn't really a worry. And then we pick up Proliferation for additional charges. And basically the additional charges are just there to have the Frozen Heart go off longer. So more Frozen Heart activations. In Blue Tree, or the Sentinel Tree, we took 5 out of 5 in Violent Speed for extra movement speed, 5 in Violent Momentum so that we have more gun damage while we're moving, and we move a little bit faster. We took 2 out of 5 in Cool Hand just for a little bit extra reload speed. We did go ahead and pick up Drone Delivery since we are using the drone. We want to take advantage of that free grenade so that our Cryo Hex is going off. 4 out of 5 in Salvation. The lifesteal was really important with this because we're not doing a lot of damage. We're not killing things very quickly before they can damage us. So we want to get back as much damage as we can, as much health as we can from the damage that we are doing. Pick up C in Red, which is just standard. You just always pick up C in Red. And that is because it allows us to have increased action skill. Kill skill. Pick up 5 out of 5 in Violent Violence for faster fire rate, 2 out of 5 in Playing Dirty for the extra shot chance, 3 out of 3 in Good Misfortune so that we have a longer skill duration, and of course we pick up Death Follows Close so that we have extra effect and duration on our kill skills. We didn't pick up anything in Double Barrel because we're not using Clone at all, and after a bunch of testing, none of the last few points that you could put into it really helped out the build at all. Alright guys, with that, as always on my videos, I like to point out that I do have all of the Guardian rank skills. So if you don't have Groundbreaker, you don't have Hollow Point, you are going to see a little bit of a decrease in damage, just because those two skills, when they proc, can do some pretty ridiculous damage. With that guys, that's the build. We want to go ahead and show a little bit of what this looks like when it mobs, and I do want to go ahead and show you Trump. So we'll do a little bit of mobbing here, and then I will rejoin you when we see Trump. Alright guys, so as you can see, the mobbing is pretty decent. It's not going to be the fastest clearing in the world, but thanks to things like the amount of cryo that we have going off and the radiation at the end of our action skill, those radiation explosions can get a lot done and really help out with your clear speed. So let's go fight Tron and see how the build does.
Go on then!
Alright, and that is our meme build, the Techspert Green Tree build. Thank you, Bflattened, for redeeming the points for this and giving me the idea. If you guys haven't checked out Bflat, I'll have his information in the description box down below. He is a great Borderlands content creator and just an all-around really great guy. That's been the build showcase. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you like this style a little bit more. With that, guys, I've been your local sassy SwinLaw. Stay classy, Pandora.